what's your key takeaway from learning the ICOR methodology, going through the inner circle cohort and ICOR journey, right?
In one word, it would be mindset. I mean, just, I was definitely victim to what's the best app to solve all your problems, right? And of course you have to try them all. You think you have to try them all. And it was just, I mean, the anxiety level was just through the roof when I met you guys, primarily because I had been using Google Pixel phones, 2 different phones and all that stuff. And then when I transferred a domain name from Google Fi, which is their phone carrier service, Google Fi, they switched from Verizon, AT&T, whatever the best signal is. When I switched my domain name from Squarespace to Google domains, it triggered something that killed my business phone number that was with Google Fi. So I was like, fuck Google. I'm going to go all Mac, all in, right? And so that's when the clusterfuck started, because then I'm like, all right, I'm trying to use all these native Mac apps and stuff. And then I started realizing these aren't very good, first of all. The filing system is god awful. And then I was in this horrible position of using a lot of browser stuff and a lot of native desktop applications, right? So I was just so in the weeds, I couldn't see it all. So I think just that clarity and mindset of this is just tools and you need the proper tool for the proper thing. I keep in my mind, I'm just like, yeah, right. I wouldn't unscrew the screw with a knife and I wouldn't slice the bread with a screwdriver. So that's the biggest takeaway for me, is just like, oh my God, light bulb moment.
So was
So
it then the ICOR framework that was helping you most in this whole journey to get a clarity about your tool stack?
Yeah, that and then workflows too, which I actually haven't gotten to. I've only done that one workflow, but analyzing the workflow, I've got to do each one. And I did use Heptabase and created a mind map, and the mind map just went on forever. Just for my business, it's like the audience, the operations, all the parts of any business that you run. Obviously, the biggest part seemed to be the content creation and content distribution, which I haven't even gotten to. But the mind map was so expansive that you couldn't read it. The font was too small. Yeah, so I haven't done the workflows for each of those things because it's just too overwhelming. So I'm focused right now on the ICOR and framework and just getting that a little tighter. Like I still have Fantastical, even though I deleted it off of the framework. I'm so busy right now that I'm scared to make the switch and delete it because I might screw something up on my calendar events. So I'm just going to leave Fantastical hooked up but closed. Just don't use it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that ICOR framework, tremendous clarity for sure. The segmentation that you did within the framework and just visualizing it that way is key.
And what do you think the impact was that you had two coaches instead of one? Because usually people have one coach in these sessions or in cohorts or things like that. Do you think it was an advantage, or what was the experience there?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, just the fact that you and Paco operate, slightly differently, use a lot of the same tools, but you're browser based and Arc, and I think Paco, you tend to use a lot of the desktop apps, right? Either way, just having, I guess that sort of sends a strong message that you can do it your way. It doesn't have to be our methodology, or, you got to go find some other methodology, which I think is great from your business perspective too, because if you said, hey, this is the way we do it, it's our way, join us and do it our way, then the whole world has billions of people saying that, right? So then you don't know, should I use, Tom and Paco's method, or, like David Ortiz was saying, oh, then I watch these videos from her and this and that. I'm like, oh, no, no, no. That sounds like a mess to me. You guys have a framework, but it's applicable to each individual's stuff, right? If you need to change something, you change something. And
ICOR is tool agnostic. That's the ultimate purpose of the thing.
it makes sense, because then you feel like you're in control of your business your way, but you've got the ICOR framework to support it and your different perspectives.
Yeah, great. So how would you assess the return of investment from the inner circle cohort? And would you suggest it to any other busy professionals then?
Absolutely would suggest it. Yeah, I would suggest it to anybody, that even what would you call it, the C-suite, the entire C-suite. I would suggest that it go from the top down and be a primary component of any business, frankly. Yeah. In terms of the ROI, Wow. Yeah. It's certainly, it should be at least, I would think at least 100x over the, if we look at the LT lifetime gross profit relative. So for my business, just struggling, trying to keep my head above water like I'm doing, because of the business I'm in, I can pull in maybe $200,000-$300,000. I'm trying to replicate what you guys have done, like literally what you've done. So content creation, courses, potentially wealth mastery courses, and it's covering everything from all that minutia we don't want to talk about, like Social Security and long-term care and Medicare and blah, 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 blah. But it also covers stock investments as well as crypto, as well as we'll have a hedge fund component, for the rich guys too. I'm hoping that within 5 years, it's at least 100 million under management and, at least 5 to 10 million top line revenue. So I'm trying to make a real business and bring in real people and real management team and stuff like that. But this is literally year one. And
So
so,
you think the ICOR gives you a great foundation then for scaling?
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No question. No question. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.